Battletoads for the Game Gear, for the Sega Game Gear. When this game came out, it felt like a dream. At the time, I was like, wow, a port of Battletoads from the NES to a small colored Game Gear screen? I want it, woo! But I never got it because back then I couldn't find the game anywhere, so I never got to play it in the 90s. Fast forward to 2007, I ordered the game from Amazon.com for about $5 and played the ever-living crap out of it. Now, before I dive into the game and review it for what it is, I just want to go on record and say I love the hell out of this game. It takes me back to a simpler time of my youth, and I still diddle with it even to this day. For today's video, I'm going to talk about the graphics, sound, control, gameplay, difficulty, and the stages. The graphics for the time on a portable console in the early or mid 90s were very nice to the eyes. Even today, I still love looking at the pixelated Toad and his enemies. All of the stages are very appealing in their own way. It's a beautiful looking game in my opinion. The sound and the music are appropriate for a console of this time. All the songs within each stage are memorable to me. I particularly love the songs from the surfboard stage and the stage where you're in hell on an airplane thingy. I love those two songs so much that I did a cover of them many ages ago and even played them with a live band. I convinced my band at the time that those two songs were mine and we played them. It was so funny. Now let's talk about the controls of this game. The controls are the downfall of this port. Like a lot of ports on the Sega Game Gear, the controls suffered a significant amount while being translated to this console. The inputs are not very responsive, and sometimes when you walk you have to be careful not to accidentally run. If you push twice, even if you give it a good 2 seconds in between the times you push the forwards or backwards buttons, your Toad will freaking run. This caused lots of accidental deaths in the game. It was so terrible in the fourth stage, which was the ice level stage. That stage amplified the sluggish controls due to the developers wanting to capture sliding on ice. Did they? They went overboard with all of that sliding. I hate that fucking stage. As for the gameplay, the game itself is pretty fun. It's not like any other Battletoads, so it may take a while to get used to. The physics are just different. For example, when you jump in any other Battletoad game, you can jump pretty far, and even farther when you run and jump. However, with this game, you only have a set distance for when you jump. You do not jump farther when you run and jump, walk and jump, or jump from a ledge. It's always going to be the same distance no matter what you do. I know, it's irritating. I hate that so much about this port. You know what else pisses me off? A lot of enemies do not have a set hit point in their code. So what that means is that they will not die unless you hit them with a complete combo. If you miss them within that combo, they will be alive forever. What kind of shit is that? Aside from that, Battletoads switches its game genre, so in one stage it's like you're playing a traditional beat 'em up game, and the next thing you know, you're on a plane dodging fireballs. I love it so much. Battletoads is known for doing this, which is why I love it so fucking much. Now, before I move on to the stages, this game has a story. It has a story. Wait, this game has a fucking story? Yeah, but it's not really much of one on the Sega Game Gear. I just know that one of the three Toads has been captured by the Dark Queen. Which Toad has been captured? I think it's Zitz. It's not Rash and Pimple. Yeah, they have disgusting names. The Toads, before I continue, my gosh. There's Rash, Pimple, and Zitz. Yeah, disgusting, gross, ew. But that's how the 90s were. You know, the 90s where everything was just disgusting. And that's why I love it. That's why I'm disgusting.
Powder, stir, and blast your brains!
So, yeah, I'm not sure if the Game Gear version says anything about the story or anything like that. I honestly skip the text when it shows up and I just get right down to the gameplay. That's what I always have done with games like this. I'm sorry to Rare or whoever made Battletoads, but That's just what I do. Now that I mentioned that this game switches from genre to genre, I can talk about the stages. Stage 1 is a traditional beat 'em up game. I'm assuming that you are in front of the homes of these pig-like creatures that either live there or they work for the Dark Queen. There's also these robotic looking things which they try to kick you, and if you beat them you can get a stick and beat everything up. So in this stage you're beating the crap out of everything. I like how at the end of your combo your Toad enlarges his hand for the final attack on his enemies. The boss at stage 1 is this robotic looking thingy that brings itself to first person view, and you're controlling the Toad in the line of fire. You have to beat the boss with the debris from the ground that the laser produces. It's a pretty easy stage, and the boss is not too difficult either. In stage 2, you're roping down a pit while fighting off enemies like crows, snake-looking thingies, and dodging the occasional lightning blockways. If you're careful, you can get through this no problem. Stage 3 is the iconic floating bike stage. There is a traditional beat 'em up segment before this event though. I freaking hate the little bug-like things that try to take away your life. It is total BS. The floating bike segment, on the other hand, is very forgiving compared to the original game. If you hit a platform, you just fall off your bike and you have an opportunity to go back on it. And you can continue right where you left off. Be careful though, because you can still fall in a pit hole. Now if there was a stage I hate in this game, it is stage 4. I hate everything about this stage. I hate how you slide, I hate how the jumps all of a sudden become less responsive than usual, and I really hate all of the fucking beginner traps. All I can say about this stage is be patient, wait for the right moment to plan your shitty jumps, and most of all, hope for the best because this stage is so fucking dumb! Now let's talk about stage 5. I like to call stage 5 the surfboarding stage because you're on a freaking surfboard. How cool is that? The stage isn't that tough compared to the other previous stages. Just make sure you hit all of the boosts for your surfboard to launch yourself past the platforms and you're good. There are a few enemies you have to beat and a boss at the end of the stage, but they're all pretty easy. As long as you know that everyone can kill you with one hit, you're all fucking great. And here we have the snake stage, which is my favorite personal stage. I'm just kidding, the stage sucks. It's not that this stage is difficult, but it's filled with a lot of beginner traps. You have to be familiar with the architecture of the stage to complete it, and also know where all of the snakes are going. After you know where everything is and know when everything is happening, the stage is pretty easy. It just takes a while to complete it. Right after that snake stage is a pretty exhilarating stage that looks like you are in hell. You start off in a traditional beat 'em up segment, then you jump on a plane to dodge lightning and fireballs. The stage isn't too difficult because if you get hit by other projectiles or lightning, you lose hit points. You don't die instantly. This stage has to be my favorite stage because at this point in a game like Battletoads, you are starting to feel like you're immersed in the game. The Game Gear is getting hot from its fucking capacitors and battery use, and your hands are sweating from the intensity of the previous stages, and the song is so freaking cool. I love it. Like I mentioned earlier, I fucking stole this song and played it with the band. That's how much I loved it. In stage 8, you're on this unicycle thing rolling away from this bright circle thing. The stage is pretty easy. I never had any problems with it. Using your D-pad, you just click the direction the Toad is supposed to go as soon as he's about to hit a new direction. The boss is also very basic. Spoiler alert! The boss is the ball thing chasing you, and it's super easy to beat. Stage 9 is the final stage in this port, and in my opinion, it is the hardest stage out of all of them. You are constantly going up the synthwave looking tower, and along the way are enemies that can kill you when they capture you, or they can blow you away if you're not hanging on a stick. However, if you persevere, react accordingly, you can make it past the stage, but damn, it is difficult. I had a lot of fucking difficulty completing it nowadays too, because latching onto those damn pole things are so damn stupid. because the game is trying to be fucking 3D and it's just not. I hate how you have to turn around constantly in the fucking stage because I can't fucking see where I'm aligned to jump on that fucking stick. A lot of the times I get fucking blown off. You have to make these poles face directly at you, the player. And even if it looks like the pole is looking directly at you, your toad will not catch on. It is so fucking annoying. Then there's this Mega Man disappearing, reappearing platform segment bullshit happening along with these things trying to blow you off. The little disc you're trying to balance yourself on. The stage gets no fucking easier with time. It just doesn't. When you make it up to the tower, you have to face the final boss, which is the Dark Queen that has like 1 frame of animation. After you beat her, wow, you get a stupid ass trophy for all of your troubles. Now, is it worth putting yourself through this torture for that segment, for that ending? At least give me a fucking ending with a beautiful, with some beautiful toad art, like, I don't know, Frog and Toad maybe? I don't know. Just take that, like this game. This game did it. Someone did it on Mugen. Look, let's play some Mugen. So the Battletoads went on to save the world time and time again. They had it all, money and women. Eventually greed overcame them and they killed and beep every human on Earth. With the human race destroyed, we finally had a chance to reign supreme. And that's how the Battletoads overthrew the pathetic humans and we reigned supreme. Damn, what a fucked up ending. Can you believe that? Oh my god. Well, if you were wondering what that was, I don't know if you would call it a real game or whatever, but that was Mugen. That was Mugen. That was just a thing we did in college. We modded Mugen. Oh my god. Mugen. Yeah, people made all kinds of crazy stuff with that software. You could do anything you wanted. You can make your own fighting game. You can make your own Contra, whatever. That's what we used to do back in the early O's. I like to call them the O's because that's like, what, the year 2000? That's what we did, man. That's what we did in the O's. We modded Mugen, we made our own, we shared it. We shared Mugen through, what's it called, forums. I think they still do it on Chrono Crash. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about Battletoads this video is about Battletoads for the Sega Game Gear. Why am I laughing? I'm not high or anything like that. It's just, it's funny. It's like, why am I talking about Battletoads for the Sega Game Gear? It's because that place holds a special place in my heart. I mean, I did play it. I got to the freaking, 7th stage or whatever the hell that stage was. It looked all crazy. I actually fucking took out my Game Gear and fucking played it all the way through to that stage, and I struggled. That game is just as unresponsive as I fucking remember that game. Yeah, and I heard that some of the stages were taken out because of the Game Gear's memory. Is that game good? No, I'm just joking. To me it is. If you pick it up and play it, it's probably not going to be great. I mean, let's be real. Alright, you're probably not going to like it. If you're a new school gamer, if you're like 10, 8, 7, you're going to hate that game to death. If you're 18, even if you're 18 or 21, like this guy is like, I don't understand how you play those games. And I'm like, bro, you just have not grown up in the same time as me. I'm at another level than you, buddy. Okay, I come from hell. Yeah, I come from the 90s. But yeah, that game holds a special place in my heart. Now Mugen, on the other hand, that's a different story for another time. Overall, Battletoads on the Sega Game Gear is a pretty good game. I know I give it a lot of shit, but like I said earlier, I still come back to it, even to this day, which is why I'm talking about it. However, if you are a new gamer and you like your games to be responsive and have good controls, then this game is not for you. I recommend this piece of software if you're diving into the history of gaming, because Battletoads is an iconic game series of the 90s. Everyone back then talked about it, not because it was a pretty game, but because it was disgusting, difficult, and hardcore. If you weren't those things in the 90s, then you didn't fit in. So with that being said, I'm going to close out. This is Chris the Pocket Master saying good night.